one way of depleting them out of getting out of range, right? So in that kind of pause, they were looking at a way of like pushing through
Yeah.
the defense of Cambodia, but again, they were targeting more of like the way of how do we answer this? Objective or we go for the push? It's just a question, just keep going and going until we see a pause after this game.
Well, I think too, you know, part of this is where they're currently at is they need to be able to fight for this Lord. Like they can't, neither of these teams can give it up. You know, that's number one. And relatively speaking, like I was saying, economy-wise, they're in a good position to contest it, but both of them. But one thing you have to watch out for, and as we've seen, you know, up to this point, Francis, is the pretty much the split push. And I don't mean to end the game, but just, you know, pushing down the lane while you're focusing on that Lord setup and losing that space to work with, because both teams actually have great push potential, like in the side lanes. You know,
yeah.
they could go that route. But at the same time, as the game goes on further and further, the thing that is worrisome, of course, is whenever you're playing against the Leslie, right, the scaling there is deadly. And there's already, I believe, when we took a look at the item look, you know, for Leslie specifically, you already got Berserker's Fury. You already have a BOD. You're well on your way to, you know, just popping off, basically. So best thing that you can do is contest these objectives. Hopefully you come out on top winning them. But at the same time, right now, I got to say, the XP lane is where I was highlighting before we got to this third game, because that's been the series. And if you remember, ATM and both Eisen have had amazing games. You know, but this one right now, I got to say, ATM's pulling through, right?
Especially on this Arlot.
On the Arlot, just like you did in game one. So that's the thing. Like, you have to watch out for ATM here.
Well, the question is, will you do it when he does the Vengeance, or will you do it when he does the Final Slash? Because at some points, he tends to have this good angle, like sweeping away one when he tries to go back. Do you see that fight right up top when he was trying to go for a one member and just completely separate the fact that they might be in a way of an ambush up top? So that's one way of like seeing those kinds of threats. And if this is in the comfort of D7 as well as the XP lane on the other side, maybe this is their edge of just crawling their way back.
Well, again, like crawling their way back through the series, through everything else, relatively to speak, you know, for game 3, it's even.
Completely.
You know, and game 1 and game 2 were different. And I feel like this is, whenever we get to a third game in a series, I feel like that's the story. Like game 1 was, you know, in favor of this team massively. Game 2, massively in favor of this team. But now, here we are, game 3. What are we at? 10 and a half? Yeah, 10 and a half minutes, I think, is what we are, before we took this little breather. And it's anyone's game. Again,
tug of war.
Best of one. Whoever comes out on top here goes towards facing off against the Philippines.
Yeah. I'm just excited how this game goes, man. Like, seeing them all like try to beat out of the comfort zones and seeing all the ways of like having a perfect avenue, because we see D7 build up the Blade of Heptases from being level 10, and to go back in the game right now, we would see how will they have a space against Mongolia to even secure this one, knowing that they have so much vision that they have with the. Let's look at that.